Hi, my name is Karen Fabian and I'm the founder of Bare Bones Yoga, and I want to talk to you about the idea of building your own business. Now, of course, if you've been following me on Facebook or here on YouTube, or you're a reader of my blog, or maybe you have one of my books or online courses, or maybe I've seen you in one of my yoga classes or workshops, you know me as a yoga teacher and author and online educator. And along with all of that, I also provide coaching to people who want to start their own businesses. Many times, these are businesses in the area of health and wellness, or even yoga specifically, but not always. Sometimes I work with people in a one-on-one coaching situation where they're getting into building a business that has nothing to do with health and wellness, but they want to leverage some of the tools that are involved in building a business. And these days, much of that has to do with understanding how to market yourself online, in addition to things that you can do in person. So if you're out there and you're interested in building a business, I want to give you some information about how you can learn some of the basics of building a business by taking part in my online webinar called the Bare Bones Yoga Business Bootcamp. Now, this is a 3-part online training program, and the first part is available now, and I want to give you just a brief overview of some of what you'll cover. I'm breaking it down into starting out with some of the basics right away, and then over the course of the latter part of section 1 and part 2 and 3, really diving into building a digital marketing strategy, and then some of the extra things that you can get into, like writing books, writing online ebooks, online courses, training manuals. So those are some additional pieces that are outside some of the building blocks of building a digital marketing strategy. So let me just briefly touch on some of the things that I cover in this workshop. So we start out taking a look at who your ideal customer is and identifying what makes your business different, because that's so important, especially if you're in a crowded marketplace. I then present some information to you to help you really examine if you have what it takes to work for yourself. If you're out there and you're working in a corporate environment or any kind of full-time position and you really, really dream of working for yourself, but you're not sure that you have what it takes to do that, this part of the webinar will be an opportunity for you to ask yourself some honest questions about whether or not you're the kind of person that can work independently, that can self-motivate, that can be creative, all of the things I'll go into that I found are really helpful to running a successful business on your own. I'll then go into some other ideas that have to do with how you're going to build your revenue. And this can really trip people up. A lot of times people have an idea, they have a dream and a vision, but they're really not sure how that vision translates into revenue. And let's face it, if you don't have that plan, which, you know, in basic business terms is a business plan, there really is going to be a lot of struggle to have your business grow into a successful one. And I think it's even overly complicated these days because everyone is looking at social media, and many times we make assumptions about how successful someone is, maybe because we look at how many followers they have, or we look at what they're doing and what they're pictured doing in their social media profiles. And that isn't always a great indicator of how successful someone's business is. So I'll go into a little bit in the webinar and give you access to my proprietary business dashboard. And this business dashboard will really force you to start to get real around how am I going to make money in my business. I have this idea, and what are some of the things I'm going to do? What are the activities that I'm going to bill for? And what are the rates that I might charge for these things? The dashboard will be something that you'll customize for yourself, and then I'll go into some of the information about setting up your website. You know, back in the day, setting up a website was a pretty basic thing, but now there are a lot of things that go into building a website and really having it focus on the customer's experience rather than focus on just showcasing who you are and what your business is about. Because let's face it, when someone visits your website, you want to be able to help them solve a problem as soon as possible, because that's a great way for you to build credibility and to begin to build a relationship with that person. So I'll go into some of what you can offer on your website and some of the technical pieces that are involved in offering these things on your website. And then we'll go into a little bit about what a digital marketing strategy is. There's so much we can do online to connect with people, and the really neat thing is the opportunities are really endless in terms of scaling your business when you connect with people online. Let's face it, it's great to do things in person, but there's so many more people that you can reach with your ideas, with your training information, with your ways that you help people solve a particular problem. And so why would you limit yourself to just working with people face-to-face? That may be one venue and one aspect of your business, but it also will really help you grow your business if you can connect with people online. But how you do that, what techniques you use, what platforms you use, really is a whole learning on its own. And so we'll go into a lot of that in part 2, but in part 1 of the Bare Bones Yoga Business Workshop, I'll start to talk a little bit about what the components of that strategy is or are, and what's the logic behind it. Why would we even have something like that as part of our overall plan to build our business? So when you buy the workshop, you'll get access to both the business dashboard, which will help you start to map out your revenue plan and some of the services that you'll be providing, products and services. And you'll also get access to a customized worksheet that I created that really forces you to map out the answers to the critical questions that I present in this workshop, so that right out of the gate you're not only learning, but you're applying what you're learning to your individual business scenario. So who is this for? This is ideal for someone who's just beginning and has an idea for their business, but really isn't sure how to get things off the ground. This is also ideal for someone who maybe doesn't really understand how to build a business in terms of what are the steps that I need to do, what's a digital marketing strategy, what are some of the components of that. It might be for somebody who's started a little bit of the planning, but got a little stalled and got a little overwhelmed and is looking for a little bit of a kick in the pants to really get things off the ground. I can tell you that I've presented this content in a number of workshops here in Boston over the past year and a half to new entrepreneurs in all areas of business. I have several clients that I meet with one-on-one, and it is so exciting to walk them through this process and see their business start to grow. And I have one client in particular who's building a wellness business, and I just met with her this week. She is just, so gung-ho about where she's going, and I can certainly say for myself, there's so many things that I'm able to share with her about how to get her business up and running in a really organized way. And I wish I would have had that guidance myself. I can tell you there's a lot of information out there, and there's a lot of information about specific things. But what I really wanted to do is provide a general overview and to give people an overall roadmap to help them create the plan from the idea. Because at the end of the day, the only way to make these visions and dreams and ideas a reality is to actually do the work. But sometimes that's the hardest part. We're not sure where to start. We're not sure of the steps. And so this is what I provide in this webinar. So in order to get the webinar, all you need to do is go to my website, barebonesyoga.com, and visit the Premier Coaching page. And when you go to the coaching page, you're going to read a little bit about my coaching program. But right there in the outline of the coaching program is a paragraph about the webinar, the Bare Bones Yoga Business Bootcamp. And there'll be a link in that paragraph where you can click to purchase the webinar for $79. And in addition to the webinar, you'll also gain access to the business dashboard and also the worksheet that goes along with the webinar that will help you start to map out the answers to the questions that I pose and the information I share in the webinar itself. If you have any questions, please send me an email, Karen@barebonesyoga.com, and I'd love an opportunity to help you make your dream to start your own business a reality. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to working with you.